Hi, this is Vicki with Crafting for Fun. Today I want to show you how I made this super cute stand-alone, it does stand up on its own, 2-pocket treat holder. It has a pocket on the front where you can leave a nice message for someone and a pocket on the back where you can leave a treat for them. In this case, I've put a gift card in here, but this pocket is also sized large enough so that it could hold something like an individually portioned bag of M&Ms or Skittles, or the flat Ghirardelli chocolates, or something like York peppermint patties, or just whatever would fit in this pocket. The pocket is 3 3/4 of an inch wide and 2 3/4 of an inch tall. So let me show you what you need in order to make a project like this. I'm going to move this pink piece of paper aside. You'll need to begin with a piece of pattern paper that measures 8 inches by 8 inches. Now, pattern paper does work better than heavyweight cardstock for this because it just allows you to fold it a little more easily. I prefer to use double-sided pattern paper, but the pattern paper today that I'm using is single-sided, and that works just fine as well. So you'll want to begin by folding your pattern paper in half diagonally. Now, you do want to take a few extra minutes to line this up, because getting everything lined up will make your finished project turn out so much nicer. Then you want to lay your paper on a scoring tool, and I am using the Stampin' Up! Scoring tool, and you'll want to score with the folded edge of your cardstock along the left-hand edge of your paper score. You'll want to score at 7/8 of an inch. Now, you want to be careful not to press too hard because you don't want to damage your pattern paper. It is quite a bit thinner than cardstock. Now, with the folded edge against the top of your paper score, you'll want to score at 3 3/4, and then again at 7 5/8. And that is the one mark beyond 7 1/2. So it's a little tick mark beyond 7 1/2. And now you're completely finished scoring. So I'm going to set that aside. And you'll want to lay your paper. Since this is the side you'll want to face on the outside, the pattern side, you'll want to lay it face down. If you're using double-sided pattern paper, you'll want to lay the print that you want to be the most prominent face down. And then you're going to fold in both of your sides and burnish along those score lines really well. Oops, let's see. Can't see my score line on this paper very well. So you'll fold both sides in, and you'll have something that looks like that. Now you'll want to take your paper and you'll want to fold it in half and match up both of those points very well. And this is where you'll probably want to have a bone folder handy to go ahead and burnish those creases really well. So you'll have something that looks like this. And now you'll want to fold back along the remaining score line. So you'll fold back on this side, then you'll flip the whole thing over and fold back on the other side. And this is the basis for your treat holder. When you hold it up and look at it from the side, it will look like a W. And you should be able to match those points up very well. Now, some people leave this where it's not adhered together. I do prefer to go ahead and adhere my top edges together, just so that when I go on with decorating it, I know that everything is going to line up well. So I just adhere that together with a little tape and give it a test, and it does stand up. And I also prefer to do a couple of things here at the top. I like to round this top edge. That's strictly personal preference, and I'm going to use my We Are Memory Keepers corner rounder that has a 1/2 inch radius, and I'm just going to stick both edges in there at the same time and round them. If you prefer, you can keep those edges pointed. Then I'm also going to add a little hole here, like a little carrying handle. And I'm going to use my little Stampin' Up! 3/4 by 15/16 oval punch. And I'm going to use a piece of Post-it note. I'm feeling to see where my sticky is on my Post-it note, and it is along this edge. So I'm going to stick that into my little punch, and I'm going to punch so that I get some of that sticky right on the edge of my Post-it note in my punch. And I'm going to use this as a tool. I basically lay it down so that I can see exactly where my hole is going to be. And if I'm not happy with the position, I can pick it up and reposition it until I have it exactly where I want it. Most people are really uncomfortable kind of sticking it in there and punching without having a visual of exactly where that hole is going to be. And so this Post-it note technique is kind of just a little bit of a cheat. So now I'm going to punch, and if you have a little bit of that Post-it note left, just go ahead and pick it off, and so your hole should be exactly where you wanted it. So now I'm going to go set this whole holder aside, and I'm going to go ahead and decorate mine. Now for mine, I'm using one of my favorite Easter stamps. It's a little bunny stamp that I bought, and I bought it off of a bargain table somewhere, and I don't even really know where I got it. Let me see if I can find it here. It's made by Rubber Stampede, and the reason I really like this stamp is because it's cute and it doesn't require very much effort to kind of decorate it. So I just stamped that with some Memento Black ink on a piece of white cardstock. And now I am looking for my pink colored pencil. You could actually use a marker if you have one of the Stampin' Write markers, or the Spectrum Noir markers. Oops, I'm sorry, I broke my tip there. Spectrum Noir markers, or if you had, oh my gosh, Copic markers. You could use any of those to color this. So I'm just coloring in the little pink on his ears. And his little nose there. That's really all I'm going to do to decorate him up. And then I am going to take a circle punch that works well with this size stamp, and it happens to be 1 3/4, but again, you would have to choose one that works best for the size of stamp that you're using. I'm going to punch that out, and then I'm going to take a piece of brown cardstock because my pattern paper has a little bit of brown in it, and I'm going to punch out a 2 1/4 inch scalloped circle, and I'm just going to layer those together. And I think I'm going to use some foam dimensionals to do that. So just layer that up. And then I'm going to apply adhesive. Now I want to apply it only on the bottom portion. So I'm going to apply adhesive right along the bottom here. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that on the front of my little treat holder. Now I did cut some pieces of pattern paper to create a liner for the inside of my card. I cut pieces that measure 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. That's the blue piece in the back, and 2 1/2 by 3 1/2 out of brown, and 2 3/8 by 3 3/8 out of white. And then I just stamped an Easter sentiment, just Happy Easter on that. And I did it a little bit less than halfway up so it would kind of be hidden by my bunny. And I just popped that into the inside, and now I want to add a little ribbon detail. So I have some double-faced 3/8 inch satin ribbon, and I'm going to show you how I tie a little bow for this. I make 2 bunny ears, and I leave this portion attached to my bolt of ribbon, and this portion is cut. Now I'm going to cross my right side over my left, and it looks just like that. And then I'm going to take the top of that loop that was on the left side, and I'm just going to push it through the center of the circle, and I'm going to grab it. Now when I grab it, I'm going to kind of let go of everything else and flip it over and kind of give that a loose little tug so that I get a knot in the center. And now I'm free to pull on the end of this ribbon to shorten my loops, or the end of this ribbon and shorten this loop before I tighten the center of my bow. And if I'm still not happy with it, I can continue to adjust my loop sizes until I am happy with it, and then pull real tight to get it to cinch up in the center. And now all I have to do is to grab my scissors, and I can trim off the excess for the tails, and you'll see that I haven't used a whole lot of excess ribbon because what's left is still attached to my bolt, and this is my only waste. So this is my way of creating a bow without having a lot of excessive waste. And then I'm going to take a glue dot and attach this bow right to the top of my little treat holder. Now I'm going to bring back my original treat holder here, because on my original treat holder I attached bows on both sides, so I would just make another bow exactly like the first one and attach it. And then I also cut another piece of paper 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 and use some glue dots to attach a gift card to the center of that. So that's all there is to it. So I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you have any questions, please email me at craftingforfun@gmail.com or check out my blog craftingforfun.blogspot.com for additional craft ideas. Thank you.